Welcome to Action Callers. I'm Reva Camiel, your action coach. You're on the right station if you're tired of just hearing complaints without a commitment to find a solution. Today, our community change makers, Connie and of the California Protective Parents Association and Mothers of Lost Child are here. And the other person that we have here is Karen Anderson. This issue we are exploring today is controversial with at least two viewpoints. Our guest today may have a different point of view than you or I hold. You can call on us on our open line and give us your point of view. Our phone number is 916-456-5199. If you didn't get it down right now, get a pencil and I'll be repeating the number in just a few seconds. So call us if you're open to generously listening to the ideas of others. That is what this program is committed to, exploring all sides of an issue. Actually, you can also call to change the topic altogether if you have an issue that you find yourself complaining about to everyone around you. And then our Changemaker guests and I will support you in finding out what action you can take to improve or change the problem. So call me if you're willing to be coached by our community changemakers to turn your complaint into a solution. Give us a call at 916-456-5199. I am your host and action coach, Dr. Reva Camiel, a psychotherapist in private practice in Sacramento, California. I'm very excited today to bring you two people, Connie and Karen Anderson. And I met them and heard them at a conference a couple of weeks ago in Davis. And they are two wonderfully committed people who feel the system is not working for their children and are willing to organize with others who have the same upset and complaint. For those of you with us for the first time, Action Callers is committed to bringing changemakers, people who have seen problems to be solved in our communities and have taken action to alleviate these problems. And I urge you to call right now and share your ideas and concerns with our today's changemakers, Connie and me, Reva Camiel, your host, and Karen Anderson. So get your pencil and paper down to write down some of the events and protests that Connie and Karen know about that are taking place right here in River City, Sacramento. If you know of any other events that we should know about, call us right here at 456-5199. Call right now. You can be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. So call us at 456-5199. I'm listening for the phone to ring. Connie, will you please tell us a little bit about the path that you've taken to be in the forefront of protesting the actions of what is it that you are protesting? And would you tell our guests?
Certainly. I'd be glad to tell our guests. I was married to a man who abused my children. When my children were in middle school, they began telling me what was happening after the divorce had happened. My children were harmed terribly by this man, and when I went to the courts to try to keep them from having to see him, things backfired terribly. From that experience, as my children grew up and we continued in a family law battle for 10 years, I discovered that I wasn't the only person that had that problem.
How'd you discover that?
Well, I started calling around, and my attorney was good enough to tell me that this was not an isolated incident. I ended up connecting with several other women who had identical problems. Their children had disclosed that they had been molested, and the family law court, rather than protecting them, backfired and endangered them. So we met about 3 years ago with 10 different women and began to form a group. That group was at first called Mothers of Lost Children. Later, we formed another group called California Protective Parents Association. Today, we're speaking from Mothers of Lost Children, which is a broad-based group which is working on finding ways to improve this problem through legislation and through lobbying and through finding all kinds of other solutions, including getting press.
Yeah. So is one of the people you found was Karen here in your hunt?
It certainly was. This is Karen Anderson, and she is a wonderful supporter.
Okay, Karen, would you tell us how you got to get involved in Protective Parents and Lost Children organization?
Well, my children disclosed that they were molested, and I went to the court assuming that the court would protect them, and found out that the court did exactly the opposite and just further endangered them.
Now, why would the court do that?
Well, there are a lot of reasons why the court would do that, but we feel that one of the things that's going on is the family law court has turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry. And
In what kind of way?
Well, there's appendages to the family law court that, and basically it amounts to people who are appointed, professionals who are appointed to work with the family law courts, who get appointed repeatedly, and they make their living off of court appointments. And the only way that these people can continue to make a living is if the litigation continues. So basically they set up scenarios that, that we have an adversarial system, which does not work well for family law. So the cases are fixed, basically, so that the litigation continues. And that's how everybody makes a living.
Are you saying that people like myself who are therapists get appointed and then make things worse for the families?
Yes. Well, I'm not saying like yourself, but yes, some of them do.
Wow.
And it's very deliberate in a lot of cases.
So what is your organization looking to do about that?
One of the things that we want to do, the primary thing we want to promote, is a crimes against children statewide grand jury that would be able to review cases where children have been endangered by the courts and make a difference in these kids' lives.
Mm-hmm. And how are you going to go about doing that? Have been just a mother, or you've been working for the legislature or anything like that?
Well, we've been lobbying for about a year. We were successful in getting one law passed already.
What was that?
It was introduced as Senate Bill 792, and it became Family Law Code 3027.5.
Which means what? What did that law?
This law addresses child sexual abuse allegations during divorce, during custody. It prevents the court from being able to limit or restrict a parent's custody or visitation with their child because they make a lawful child sex abuse report based on a reasonable belief that their child has been molested.
Are you saying that sometimes people get in trouble for making an allegation against their husband or the wife or whoever is concerned?
Reva, it's gotten so bad that attorneys are advising clients, if you believe your child has been battered or molested, just live with it. Don't bring it to the court's attention, because you'll be sure to lose your child if you even mention it.
Could you have something about that, Connie, you'd like to say? That's pretty powerful stuff you're saying.
It really is, and it flies in the face of everybody's common sense. Plus, it flies in the face of the laws to protect children. However, we put together a book, and the title of the book is Exposé: The Failure of Family Courts to Protect Children from Abuse in Custody Disputes. The very first article by a man named Richard Ducote, who's in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let me read you what he says. He says, after 20 years in family law courtrooms throughout the country, I confidently say that no woman, despite very abundant evidence that her child has been sexually molested by her ex-husband, or that she has been repeatedly pummeled by the violent father of her child, can safely walk into any family court in the country and not face a grave risk of losing custody to the abuser for the sole reason that she dared to present the evidence to the judge and ask for the child to be protected. It's a national problem, and it's a huge scandal in California. This is happening all throughout the state. Mothers of Lost Children did a survey project to battered women's shelters and advocates up and down the state, and found that in 91% of the cases in which sexual abuse allegations were raised, the father got full or unsupervised custody of the child. And the mother, this is the real shocker, the mother, the protective parent who isn't accused of any crime at all, is put on supervised visits or is completely removed from the child's life in
This does not
about
make-
half the cases.
Speaking for some of the listeners, and give us a call and see if you think that this is a horrible thing that's happening, or if you don't believe these women, give us a call, and maybe they have some facts and figures and things like that could be helpful to you. I mean, it sounds out of the dark ages. I mean,
This problem is
crazy.
This problem is actually verified in the 1996 report on gender bias by the California Judicial Council.
So you mean this has something to do like men win out no matter what they've done or in the past?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that men win out no matter what they've done. That's probably an oversimplification. But there are certain characteristics of this. Basically is a middle class issue. The women that are charged with making false allegations, and the way they do this is they use a non-evidentiary.
What does that mean?
It means they're using a theory in the courtroom, and it's rampant all over the country. It doesn't meet rules of evidence.
Oh,
It does not meet rules of evidence.
They don't
in
have
any
to have
court
any
of law.
kind of evidence?
No. All they have to do is walk in and say the words, and you're done for.
The husband or the,
Right.
the
The
abuser?
accused.
The accused.
The accused abuser.
And they can say anything, like I haven't done anything, and she's just a liar or something like
Yeah,
that?
basically what they say is it's called parental alienation syndrome.
Oh.
It was created by a child psychiatrist named Richard Gardner in New Jersey. He admits himself that he has no data to support this syndrome. However, all the accused has to do is walk into the courtroom and say, oh, parent alienation syndrome, the mother's just trying to alienate the child from me, and the tables turn, and the entire focus of the case becomes, on the mother, not on the crime.
Oh. Whoa. It sounds crazy. And so
It is.
you're trying to fight some crazy laws and a system that really isn't working well for children, for the
We're not
mothers.
really trying to fight crazy laws. We have some very good laws to protect children. Judges are ignoring the laws. That's the bottom line. They ignore the laws. They create their own law from the bench.
They're allowed to do that?
No, of course not. They do it, and they get away with it.
How do they get away with it?
Well,
none of us watching them enough or something like that? Do we have to be
They have
there at every
absolute
court?
immunity. They basically can do anything they want and get away with it. It's up to the litigant, the damaged party, to appeal their decisions. Appeals cost thousands and thousands of dollars. They're financially out of the question for most people. And one of the problems is in family law, judges are given what they call discretion. Well, discretion is so broad that a judge can say, oh, I did this because of this or that, and the appellate court will turn around and say, oh, well, it was within the judge's discretion. So the laws aren't, the criteria for the laws aren't narrow enough to prevent judges from making really ludicrous decisions and having an appellate court.
Let me
uphold
ask you
them.
this. I don't want to get into a sexist issue, but are women judges as bad as male judges in this?
Yes.
Yes.
We don't see any difference between, a lot of it's power. It's a power issue, and that's something that men or women can be, prone to.
Well, why would people want to necessarily give it to a person who maybe have these men been convicted of being abusers or molesters or pedophiles?
There's one case in the Bay Area in which 11-year-old twin boys were taken away after 11 years with their mother for absolutely no reason, except for the father decided the parent alienation syndrome suited him to a T. The judge gave the children, or the commissioner gave the children to the father, despite the fact that the father was a registered convicted sex offender, and the boys had said that he had offended against them. So the boys were placed in his custody, and nothing anyone could do could get them out of his custody until they got to be 15 years old and decided that they were just going to pick up and walk away from the situation.
Well, if you're finding yourself out there in Radio Land just getting kind of upset, give us a call, because upset people can then take charge of their life. So give us a call at 916-456-5199 and get the help of these women who have done some things and know how to get some things done. And they also know some of the pitfalls that you might fall into. And so give us a call and let's hear from you. And if you're angry, either way, give us a call. Yeah, Connie. Yeah.
One of the issues is that children are not considered humans. In fact, when my children were in middle school and we were having these problems, they said, "Mommy, don't these judges think that I'm a person?" I said, "Well, I thought you were a person, but according to the judges, you're not. You're property." Children don't have, they're not even 3/4 of a human like it used to be during slavery. They're non-human. They're furniture. And in the family law court, they're divided like they were furniture. The system does not seem to notice that their needs are not being met by being placed with violent parents. We all know about the O.J. Simpson case in which
that's true, right? Mm-hmm.
He clearly had brutalized his wife. Who knows whether he killed her or not, but he had certainly brutalized her, and there were tapes that were broadcast all over the United States about her calling for help. Yet the children were still placed with him. His case was taken to the appeals court, and the appeals court was very severe about the other courts not noticing these other issues, and remanded the whole case back, saying that the lower level courts had not looked at all the evidence. So that was one case in which children were just moved into a clearly violent man's custody.
Wow. Yeah, Karen, I can see you're having a lot of feelings just talking about this. This is really heavy duty.
It is, and this is rampant all over the United States. It's not just in California. It's in every state in the country.
And it's not just in Sacramento.
No, it's everywhere. And we're networked with organizations all over the country.
There are other organizations with the same name, different names. Are you?
Well, we have different chapters. California Protective Parents Association has different chapters, but there are other completely separate organizations across the country that we network with, and this problem is just going on everywhere. One of the things that is a frustration to me is that too many people look at this as they're looking at this as a custody issue, and it really isn't. It's a human rights issue. Mm-hmm. And it's a civil rights issue. Every parent has a human right and a civil right to raise their own child, unless the state can prove by compelling state interest that they're some kind of a danger to their child. Parents are losing their kids to CPS, to abusive parents.
CPS, Child Protective Services,
being put in foster care without any evidence whatsoever that they've harmed their child. Without a jury trial, in front of their peers, it's just, they do this on hearsay. Mm-hmm. And it's totally illegal. It's unconstitutional.
So it's more hearsay on the terms of women, going against women
There is a great deal of gender bias going on, but when you look at it from the perspective of constitutionality, gender bias is illegal under the First Amendment. If judges were doing their job right, there wouldn't be any gender bias in the court.
So I understand you guys are planning some kind of a big event this next week, and right after our break we'll get back, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about some of the plans that you have for this coming week that our listeners can take part in. And so we're going to be taking a break just right now, and you are listening here to Action Callers, and you're listening to Connie and to Karen Anderson. And you can give us a call at 916-456-5199. And they are hear from the two organizations, Protective Parents Association of California and also the Lost Child organizations. And so we'll be back in a few moments, and you'll hear about an event that's coming up that might be something you might want to attend and participate in.
For a different listening experience, 88.7 Cable FM and KYDS 91.5, the voice you need to hear.
Okay, and light, camera, and action! Grab your hot buttered popcorn and get ready to enjoy the show. You're invited to take a front row seat with host Dave Fox on The Movie Score Weekly. Each and every week, Dave Fox brings you all your favorite music straight from the big screen. Listen as Dave goes behind the scenes to keep you informed on all your favorite movie composers, film release dates, and so much more. The Movie Score Weekly even features some of the rarest soundtracks in the music business, all in pure stereo. So join the fun each Thursday night starting at 8 and rebroadcast at 8 a.m. Friday mornings. You'll want to catch all the action. Don't miss The Movie Score Weekly.
Here's the throw to third. Williams with the tag. O'Neal's safe.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah?
Do you remember when we were talking about raising academic standards in our kids' schools?
Yeah?
Well, I called and I got this booklet. It's got a lot of helpful information in it. Here.
Hey, thanks, man.
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-3823-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Hey, I'll see you.
Hey, Paul, that's the wrong way.
I know, but I forgot to drop one off at second base.
Brought to you by the Education Excellence Partnership and the Ad Council.
Do you have dreams?
Do you have goals? Everyone does.
No matter what race or color they are.
Talk to each other.
Listen to each other. Sure, we're all different.
But we're also all the same.
Understand the similarities.
Respect the differences.
Help end prejudice in your lifetime. Call 1-800-934-3430 or log on to www.whitehouse.gov. Together, we can build one America in the 21st century. Brought to you by the President's Initiative on Race, the Leadership Conference Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
Hey, is that Freedom Rock I'm hearing?
No, man.
Well, turn it up anyway.
Hey, it sounds like that community radio station.
That's the community radio station where anyone can do their own radio show.
No way.
Way. Just call Access Sacramento at 456-8600. They have training classes to teach you all about community radio broadcasting.
Wow, man. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm headed down there right now for my radio training class.
No way, I'm coming too.
That's right. Now you can take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to grab hold of that microphone and make your radio dreams come true. Access Sacramento radio training classes are offered by appointment and cost $15. And if you act now, you get the super psychedelic sounds of the 70s music bed absolutely free. The number to call is 456-8600. Answering machines are standing by.
This is the voice. 91.5.
And now you're back on Action Callers, and you're here with Karen Anderson and Connie from Protective Parents Association and Lost Children's Association, and you can reach us and talk to us, and you can cry with us and laugh with us and be sad together. Give us a call at 916-456-5199. Or you might think these people are just crazy and, are just making all this up. So give us a call at 456-5199. And now we're here with Connie and Karen to tell us a little bit about the event that's happening this coming week.
This Monday, the day after Mother's Day, there's going to be a press conference in Sacramento. The press conference is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning at the state capitol, which is on 10th and L, between L and N streets, in room 2040. The title, actually, of our press release is "Have the Foxes Invaded the Hen House?"
Very good.
This is going to be an expose of this issue. As Reva was saying, this is an issue that people cry about and weep about. We've gone through years of weeping and crying, and now we're really mad. This should not be happening. So we've collected information from all over the state, and we've gotten a New York investigative reporter to investigate the family law court in Sacramento.
Whoa.
Where many of these cases stem. Los Angeles, Santa Clara, and Sacramento are three of the big hubs of this peculiar activity. In fact, it's happening we've documented it in at least a third of the California counties.
Are there any counties that are doing a good job?
Oh, I'm sure there are. They're not the ones we hear from. We only hear from the ones who are doing a not good job, where the bad apples seem to be placed. This press conference is going to have the explosive findings of Karen Winner, who is the investigative reporter from New York and who is the author of a book called Divorced from Justice. It's an excellent book. I can tout it highly. She's done reports on 2 other California counties, which resulted in reforms in one county and the beginnings of reforms in another county.
This thing that you're having Monday, is this where everybody can come? Come on down for everybody into room 2040 over in the Capitol?
That's right. It's y'all come.
And how much room do you have in that room?
Well, not a lot, but there's standing room.
And maybe out in the halls and going down to your legislator and going in and tripping down the hallways in your high heels or your tennies or whatever. And
absolutely.
And let people know what's on your mind. Let those assistants know that if the assembly person isn't in the office, you can talk to their assistants and things like that, or the women in their office. I know some women that work down in those offices who could come to my office with problems that you're talking about. So this is not new to me to hear about what's going on, but it sure does make, I see 1 or 2 people, 3 people with that problem, and so I don't know that it's a whole big thing going on all over, and this is really very important for those women to hook up with you. And for me to know that, and for me to encourage people to take action, and they can take an action with you guys.
One of the problems we find is that by the time a victim gets to us, it's already too late. So we need to develop a plan to get the information out, and that's what the publicity is about, to get the information out so that they can be helped before the case ends up, the way so many of them do.
Okay, so these people can come on down at 10 o'clock?
Actually, if you are coming to the Capitol, why don't you come at 9:30 and meet on the L Street steps? We're all trying to wear yellow shirts.
Yellow shirts? Who has yellow shirts?
I don't know. It makes me look jaundiced, I'll tell you. But it's like the yellow ribbons for the hostages and the prisoners.
Well, if you don't have a yellow shirt, wear a yellow ribbon.
And come to the L Street steps of the Capitol at 9:30. Then we're going to gather and go up to the committee room where we're going to have the press conference. Afterwards, after the press conference, we're going to assemble again at 1 o'clock after lunch at the L Street steps again, because we're going to have an open microphone and we're going to be telling our stories so that each person will be able to tell a tiny piece of their story. Most of the women in these cases have documents that they couldn't possibly put in a small room. They have so many documents because the litigation has gone on for so long that your story would take 30 days to tell. But we're asking for synopsis.
Are you going to tape any of these speeches? It might be really great to tape them. And they might make a little book and a little handout or something like that for future times.
That's a great idea. We'll bring a tape recorder.
Bring a tape recorder. And I was also thinking this station, Access Sacramento, FM 91.5. Maybe there could be a radio person there, or somebody from we have TV here too from Access Sacramento. So maybe before you leave today, we can talk with the people in the TV section, and maybe they could bring their cameras down, and it would go on channel 73 and 4, I think. So
that's an even better idea.
The Voice is KYDS 91.5 FM, Sacramento.
And now we're back here to hear about the what you can do and what people can do to make have some publicity and get the word out, because I heard about it at the conference, your organization, and then you heard about me. I mentioned that I had a radio show, and you called, and here you are. So that's one way you can get here to the show, is give me a call at 456-5199 and talk to these two powerful ladies who sometimes feel weak. And I'd like to know from you, how does it feel? A lot of people don't want to get active. Some people, even on getting a signal put on their corner, what are the positive things about being an activist and doing this? And what are some of the downsides for you?
Well, I think personally for me, I look at it from the perspective of this is not about just my kids. This is about every child in the state of California. It's about every child in the United States. And it's about the very freedoms that we call our liberties in America. It's something that can't be ignored. There's right and there's wrong. And what's happening is wrong. Mm-hmm. And when you come face to face with an injustice, you have a moral responsibility and you have a social responsibility to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. So since it hit you personally, it got your attention really fully.
It got my attention real fast. I do feel a lot of guilt, actually, at the fact that until this happened to me, I was like a lot of people that I criticize now. I was content in my own little world, and I didn't pay much attention to what was going on in the outside world around me. And I look back on that now and think how irresponsible as a citizen I was to not be better informed. On the other hand, for this particular issue, there's no way people could have been informed ahead of time, because until probably just the last year, this has been so well hidden that the general public didn't know this was going on. Yeah. And I had this Pollyanna view of the judicial system that, my gosh, if a guy molests his child, he goes to jail. I just thought it was as simple as that. You would have to sit in some of these courtrooms to believe what goes on.
Maybe that would be a really good idea, another action that people could take as part of your organization. Maybe people who are new to the organization is to go sit in the courts. Have people go in pairs to the different courts. And
that's actually one of the goals of our organization, is to develop a good court watch program, because we know that does make a difference.
Yeah, maybe with a big pin on them. Court
Great big
watch.
Pin. I actually have done that. One of the things I do as executive director of California Protective Parents Association is I go to court with people, and I wear a badge that says Court Watch. And it kind of freaks a lot of people out.
Great. You have great ideas by great people.
Well, I don't know, but it does make a difference. Yeah. We know it makes a difference.
Yeah. And what
your biggest challenge has been having court-appointed, people that...
I'm hearing Diane's voice over here on the phone. It looks like we have a caller coming in just a second. But what was I going to say? Oh, we have Robert on the phone. I'm sorry I interrupted you. We're just learning how to do this kind of thing. So Robert's on the phone, and
they'll be right
wants
there.
To talk to us.
They are.
Okay, Robert?
Yes, hello?
Hello, can you speak a little louder?
Sure. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, and I'll repeat what you say to our guests, because they can't hear you.
Okay.
I've got the earphones.
Alrighty.
Okay, what is it that you wanted to say?
Well, in short, I came across your channel by changing channels on the radio, but I didn't know if it was just for all women. And
we're getting a funny sound.
Okay.
Okay, so you were wondering, you just happened to flip onto the to the station, and you were wondering if it's just for women.
Correct.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
No, it's
Connie.
not. In fact, we have a couple of dads that we're supporting in the same issue. One in particular has a case that's in Sonoma County, and his daughter was molested by an ex-wife's brother, and he brought it to the attention of the court, and they took away, he had 50% custody at that time. They took away his custody and put him on supervised visitation. He went public with the story because he was so outraged at the injustice, and the court retaliated further against him and basically said, you say any more about it and we'll punish you more, in so many words.
Wow,
so he's going through exactly the same thing as the women are going through.
Yeah. Anything else, Robert, that you wanted to ask or say or give your opinion on?
My main opinion was mine wasn't dealing with violating a child. It's just the custody, such as I wanted to have good times with my son when I can help raise him in the same town. But my ex-wife has recently moved from Oregon to Massachusetts, and each time I tried to stop that.
The wife is moving from one state to the other.
Correct.
And he wants custody. It's doesn't happen to have anything to do with abuse. Is that true, Robert?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So so what you would like, and you used to see your child, and you wanted to be with him or her.
Right, for my son.
Your son. And
I noticed the court how I had an investigator investigate both of our lives.
They investigated. The courts investigated both of you.
And they had recommended that I should get primary custody with.
They thought you should get custody. Okay.
And the courts went totally against that.
And the courts, who said that you should get custody?
The court-appointed investigator.
The investigator thought he should get custody, and the court, the judge, went against that?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
So did they give a reason why they went against that?
He never gave a reason, and that's where I
gave no reason. Yeah, Connie has something, not Connie, sorry, Karen has something she'd like to say.
In 1996, the Supreme Court made a decision that said custodial parents could move away without having to prove, a good cause. And that's probably, I would think, without knowing anything other than what I've heard, that might have been the reason that the court made that decision, because that was a landmark case. Now, this is really peculiar. Even though the Supreme Court made this decision, we find that a lot of times when moms lose custody, it's because they try to move away and then they lose custody despite that landmark decision. So it's kind of a crapshoot, I guess is what you'd say.
And here's Connie has also something to say about that, too.
There's a case in Sacramento, which is sort of the reverse. The mother was here in Sacramento. The father moved away. The children wanted to stay with the mother.
How old were the kids?
12 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge forced them to move with the father to the Midwest. So it's just, as Karen said, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. So anything else, Robert?
That's basically it. That thing that's happening this Monday is, again, it's for both men and women.
It is for both men and women, right. It sounds like somebody's gone wild.
Well, I spent over $27,000 in just trying to have visitation with my boys.
He spent $27,000 to get visitation with his sons.
But
well, Robert, that's a drop in the bucket.
Right.
I hate to tell you that.
Really?
We have people who have spent almost $1 million. So.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for calling, Robert. I appreciate your courage to call in and to ask a question that could have gone in a different kind of way. So thank you very much. Just know that we're here to support each person that calls in and the people who are here as our guests. Thank you. Okay. So did you have something? We were talking about something when the call came in. Did anything come up for you in listening and hearing Robert's comments, or something else that you want to add?
Well, there are a couple things that we would like to add, but for right now, I think we stopped with the press conference afternoon events.
Ah, right.
one of the things that we're going to be having is a hunger strike. Now, this will be kind of a symbolic hunger strike because we don't want to harm anyone's health. But mothers from all over the state are signing up for a day to fast for one day until we can get to see the governor and insist on having an oversight to this process.
Very good. So it'll be a busy day down at the Capitol, and that's which day? Monday
the 15th,
Monday
starting
the 15th,
at 9:30.
9:30 on at the Capitol steps on L Street?
On L Street, right.
Okay. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll talk a little bit more about what people get out of being an activist and what the harms to them has come of that.
Listen to answer these questions from a different perspective. So open your mind and listen to America Today, Wednesday evenings 8 to 10 on The Voice.
Would you like to hear some nice music? Music that's positive, uplifting, and unique? Well, then tune in to The Haven, where you'll hear the best of inspirational music. The Haven, where the message is the music, and the music is the message.
That's The Haven with Kevin Matlock, Thursday evenings and Friday mornings from 6 until 8 on Sacramento's Voice.
For over 35 years, Peace Corps volunteers have been solving problems around the world. Many continue their commitment to service right here at home. Meet Dr. Javad Mashkouri, a returned volunteer from Mali, West Africa, who is now making a difference in his community.
I joined the Peace Corps because it gave me an opportunity to do something worthwhile in a place that was much different than the place that I grew up and knew. When I got to Mali, it blew me away. My job was to train local masons and well diggers to construct safe drinking water wells. Peace Corps showed me what happens when you don't have access to health care. We were providing clean water, which to everyone there is health, and we try to do the same thing here by providing health care. I'd recommend the Peace Corps to anyone that was thinking about any job. It's given me more self-confidence in dealing with patients and other people. I think in Peace Corps you learn the value of service. You're going to want to be in a position to give service back.
Peace Corps volunteers, changing the world, changing America. Make a difference. Call 800-424-8580. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Empower your inner champion. Here is today's mind tool from Dr. Reva Camiel, a marriage family therapist in Sacramento.
This suggestion may sound strange, but when you're afraid of doing something new, Susan Jeffrey in her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, says the doing it comes before the feeling better about yourself.
We're talking with Bill Cerruti of Sacramento's Italian Cultural Society. Bill, so many Italian things are popular now. Italian clothes, Italian food, movies. How can we find out more about Italian things?
Easy. Join the nonprofit Italian Cultural Society. We sponsored Italian Lending Library, Italian language classes, Italian films, and numerous Italian-style social events, even a big Italian festa. We also underwrite an Italian-American youth group, Italian singing and dancing groups, the radio program, Sacramento Italian Style, and a newsletter called Altre Voci.
Do you have to be of Italian ancestry to join?
No, just enjoy things Italian.
How can you find out more about the Italian Cultural Society?
Call our hotline. Leave your name and phone number and we'll have someone get back to you. Call Italy 00, that's ITALY 00, or if you prefer numbers, 482-5900.
Grazie.
Prego.
You're listening to The Voice 91.5.
And now we're back on Action Callers, and we're here today, and I'm Reva Camiel, your host and coach, and we also have Connie and Karen Anderson here, who are from Protective Parents Association, and you can call them here at 456-5199, and this is the area code 916-456-5199, and call if you've had some experience with the courts system, and maybe you might want to get involved. Maybe there's some ways that you can get involved by not going down on Monday. There may be many ways of being active and being supportive to other people who are dealing with this major problem. It actually could have happened to any of us. So And I want any of you who are listening to know that you're not alone. And there are these people here who have given a part of their life right now to work to help other people. They've had some major problems that couldn't get taken care of by just one person. That we need to look at how we can be effective in changing parts of the systems that don't work. I'm sure the people who are part of all this in the system, they get brainwashed into thinking what they're doing is probably right too. So if anybody from the county is listening in, give us a call at 916-5199 and tell us your point of view. So here we are with Connie. And Connie, what has been some of the advantages? What have you gotten from being active now and having taken action in supporting other people and yourself? How has it supported you, and how has it hurt you?
Well, taking action it's a mixed blessing. Emotionally, I was devastated. I spent years being terrified, isolated, worried about my children, alternately angry and depressed and crying and furious and, all the range of emotions I could possibly have. But the major one was I felt helpless. I felt helpless because I was alone. I didn't know what to do. When I started taking action, that began to shift. It was like all of my energy began to be focused. The anger got focused into doing as opposed to just tearing my hair. When I found other people in the same boat, I felt not so isolated anymore. I still feel kind of helpless because I haven't been able to change this entire system completely yet.
You haven't?
Not yet, no.
Okay, not yet. That's right. Not yet.
But there's progress, and we keep supporting one another and enjoying the little movements forward that we've gotten. And altogether, each little step makes it for a long journey, but you ultimately get to the point that you want to be at. The thing that I would suggest for people to do would be right away, find out the name of your legislators. There's a senator and there's an assembly person for your district. Write a letter to them. Tell them that you want change in the family law court and you want a crimes against children grand jury. These two things I think would make a tremendous difference, and they're not that hard to do. The other thing is on Monday, come at 9:30 to our press conference. When we show up in person, it makes a big difference to people who are noticing.
Yeah, I think with every one person, they really stand for 100 persons. And letters...
when a legislator gets a letter from a constituent, they consider it the voice of about 100 other people who just didn't take the time to write. The other people you can contact is your congressman. Congress is really being bombarded right now with this issue on a national level. And one of our advocates back in, I believe was one in Ohio, went in to see her congressman, and he said, nobody's ever come into me and talked to me about this before. And they're kind of in the dark, too. You have to figure that they stay in their little ivory towers, and they're not really apprised of what's going on in the real world a lot of times. And we're the ones who have to bring the issues to them and let them know.
So what has been, some of the things that you've gained by being active? I want people out there to know that there are some things that you gain. It's not all a loss of time. And then what are some of the downfalls of being active?
I have to say that through this activism, I feel like I've met some of the best people in the world.
That's what I've heard from every
people who
guest
are
on this
willing
show.
to give of their time, their resources, their emotions, and who want to make a difference in the world. And it's a great feeling to be surrounded by those kind of people.
So it opens up whole new doors of people that you get to know. Maybe even
for instance, we're actually collecting a whole group of what we call rebel attorneys. And these are attorneys who are willing to come forward and say, yes, the system is broken. We know it's financially motivated. We know it needs to be fixed. And we know that the courts are not about truth and justice anymore.
Okay, so maybe are they willing to have their name on a list?
Their names are out there. A lot of their names are out there. And, of course, they get retaliated for it, but like all of us do. That's the downfall.
Yeah. In what way have you felt retaliated against?
There's almost no way I haven't. Well, basically, in my own personal case, when I go into the courtroom, the judges flat out say, if you continue to talk about this, we'll continue to punish you.
And the ways they punished you is keeping your children away from you?
Exactly. If I wrote a letter to an op-ed to our local paper, and they told me I had to stay on supervised visitation because I just hadn't learned my lesson.
And your lesson is? My lesson is
to be quiet and stop exposing the malfeasance in the court system.
I wonder if they think we're in some country that is a dictatorship or something.
Some of the things that go on, I would like for someone to sit down and explain how it's different than a Gestapo. I mean, it's really bad.
Wow. I'm speechless.
I'm not.
Okay, go for it.
The retaliation is amazing. I lost one job. I don't want to lose the second one, so I'm only using my first name today. That's one retaliation. The others are that
how did they do that? Did they say that was the reason you lost the job?
No.
No.
But I was suddenly transferred. Suddenly transferred, and no one was to contact me.
Whoa.
It was amazing.
California. This is happening in California.
I read a book by Kafka called The Trial, where people are, this man was in trial and didn't know what he was accused of. I keep thinking about that book. I think I'm going to have to reread it because that's what it feels like. There are other very odd things that happen. In one case, in Sacramento, a little boy spent 7 years telling therapists, doctors, policemen, sheriffs, CPS workers, investigators, district attorney, personnel, teachers, principal,
nurses, doctors.
Anybody. Think of a professional. He told them. The bus driver, if the bus driver sat still long enough, he would have told. However, that child was consistently turned back to the man that he described as sodomizing him and taking child pornography pictures. We're wondering what the motive of the judge was who turned him consistently back to this man.
They couldn't get another judge?
No. In fact, they did get one other judge, and that judge said, "Oh, well, there's not enough evidence. We'll give the case back to the family law court." That was a female judge. Then the child's mother died, so he had no one to protect him whatsoever. His case ended up in the dependency court, which most people don't even know is any different. I wish I didn't know any of this information. I had no idea there was a difference between juvenile court and family law court. There's a big difference. Juvenile court is totally secret. So they can do anything they want also. They placed the child in foster care, and then they placed him in a secret, confidential placement, which no one could find out about. Only by accident did the child run into someone that he knew, an adult he knew, and said, "I am with my father again. Please rescue me." This child has had over 40 CPS reports. It's by mandated reporters. It's an absolute scandal. So we look at this country and we think, oh my, there are parts of it that are in the dark ages, or at least are 60 years ago.
Yeah, so I know we're getting to the end of our hour, and it's just gone so fast for me. You both are so knowledgeable and so courageous and have so much information. If you tell us, a phone number where they can call if they want to get involved with you and your organization, do you have a phone number that you'd like to give our guests?
We sure do. It's an 800 number. Dial 1-800-441-7886.
Good. And Karen, do you have a last thing that you'd like to remind people about?
Well, usually what I like to tell people is I like to give them a quote, which says, "Never doubt that a few concerned citizens can't change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has."
was that? Was that Margaret Mead?
Yes.
Margaret Mead, yeah, I wrote that down too. I think the Co-op Market has it on their grocery bags, which I thought was wonderful. The co-op, who working to have good groceries and good food for everybody. And if you give your phone number one more time, that 800 number, that would be great.
Our 800 number is 1-800-441-7886.
Yeah, give them a call, and you can call and leave me a message at 916-922-5997. And what I'd like to say at this time, I want to acknowledge our volunteer engineer, Steve Baylog, and I'd also like to thank Diane Matar, who is our hostess with the mostest, and she's also our massage therapist. If you're a guest on this show, you even get your shoulders massaged. And so she's wonderful, and I want to thank both of them for the work that they do here to keep this show on the air. And let's see, what else would I like to tell you? And you can be part, and it's been said a few times today, but you can be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. And I just wish you all the best of luck. And if there's some things that you'd like to do here in this community, there is Monday at 9:30 down at the Capitol. And then there's some fun things going on here in town. There's the Pacific Rim Street Festival, and that's going to be on the 21st of May. And there's an animal care fair on May 20th at the Animal Care Regulation Center on 4290 Bradshaw Road. And you can learn all about animals, and it'll be a fun time. So I look forward to you being back with us next week, and we'll have a couple of other guests who are very knowledgeable. And again, I want to thank Karen and Connie for being here with us today. It's been great, and I love what you're doing, and I feel real strongly about your cause and all of our cause. These are our kids, and we need the village to get together. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thanks, Reva.
Sacramento.